Welcome to the Xerox AltaLink Fleet Orchestrator Introduction for System Administrators. This video is the first in a series of videos about Fleet Orchestrator. There will be a few others going into more details also on this playlist. Today I will cover what Fleet Orchestrator is and why it is useful. We'll walk through setting up the first two devices and getting ready to set up a clone file to configure a number of the settings on both devices automatically. As I describe each step, I'll make suggestions or hints that will help you stay organized. In later videos I'll go into more of these hints and tips. This video is about 8 minutes long. This is a bit longer than we normally create, but this is all one subject and makes sense to keep together. I have set most things up ahead of time to make it quicker. Later videos will show more detail. Please note, in order to be efficient for busy people, these videos will move quickly and not repeat very many things. This may seem too fast to keep up with if you are configuring your own AltaLink system while watching the videos. Because it's recorded, pressing the spacebar or pause button will pause the video. Some video players also have a playback speed adjustment, and some have a jump back 15 seconds function. As mentioned in the videos, the AltaLink webpage help and the Fleet Orchestrator Learn More guide are helpful text references. Okay, let's get started. What is Fleet Orchestrator? It's a system to let our AltaLink devices automatically share certain files on a schedule. Why is it useful? One of the most common goals for SAs is to get and keep their fleet of devices fully configured. This makes them useful and in compliance with the standards for their organization. Fleet Orchestrator is focused on making that easy. Easy to take one great setup and use it everywhere automatically. Let's look deeper into one of our AltaLink device web pages. These web pages are the primary way the SAs configure our devices. They have powerful settings, all of which are available in the web page. By the way, for details on the web page features, please see the following helpful resources. Other AltaLink videos in this playlist, the AltaLink web pages themselves, like this one, and you can just poke around through the web pages and see all the things that are possible in here. All sorts of scanning, printing, seeing what print jobs are in the queue, an overview of how the machine is working. And the Properties tab is one of the ones that has lots of information for the SA. Each web page also has a help page associated with it. Down here at the very bottom, there's a little help link. When you bring that up, it goes into our help system. You can navigate through the help system just like you would navigate through the web page. And there's a lot of information in there about all the details, definitions, terminology, all the information that you need to use our web pages pretty effectively and set these very powerful devices up. Let's say you have a certain set of settings that you want to use throughout your organization. Maybe some scan to email settings, that would be in apps email. Some administrative settings, maybe some security, some password policies, the admin password, maybe you've changed that. Hopefully you've changed it from the default. Maybe some connectivity settings, which you can search on here. Let's say I'm looking for the DNS settings. Here's my IP settings. I can edit IP settings. You see my IP addresses and my DNS settings. And you want to set a lot of these settings up the same on a lot of your devices. Obviously, IP addresses, host names, things that are unique you can't share, but all the things that are common you do want to share. Fleet Orchestrator is a great tool to make the settings the same on them all. It doesn't set the settings for you. It lets you share them between devices. Okay, so first we'll configure the settings the way we want. Scan to email, you probably already saw that a minute ago. I've already set it up. SMTP server, the from field, all the defaults are already set. Email notifications. It's a setting that a lot of people don't use because they don't know it's here. It's under notification settings, under general setup. Email alerts. You can have 3 different groups that get notified when certain things happen. I will caution you, don't click all the boxes and put a lot of people in email addresses. You've got a lot of email for things like being out of paper. You can see my email is not set up for that. It's set up for when there's a problem, something serious I have to care about. That's all set up. Turned off and turned on some reminders that I like to have. So good. Now we have a machine that has a few things set up that are good to share. Now, let's set up a couple things that help us keep track of devices individually. The device I'm looking at, this one right here, is called Jamie's printer. You'll see that name repeated in various places. It's here in a field called the device name. I've also have it set up as a DNS name, Jamie's printer, and its FQDN, fully qualified domain name, is jamiesprinter.sdsp.mc.xerox.com, right? I use the name Jamie's Printer rather than the default because it keeps things a little more organized and easier to read than the default, which is XRX and the MAC address. Those are fine for one at a time, but it gets a little confusing when you have several devices that are all named almost the same. So this one's called Jamie's Printer. You should pick a name that is meaningful to you and to your users. Reminder, the device name and the host name field are different. You can set them the same if you like, or they can be different. Now that we have the first device organized, let's connect another device. Alright, so let's pop back to the Fleet Orchestrator page. Here is Fleet Orchestrator. The device is not connected to any other devices yet. we have this device is auto-configured using one file, which means basically I used a file already to set up this one device. But now I want to connect other devices. We have another device. It's called Ted's Printer. Ted's Printer doesn't have any email set up or any of the other changes I made on Jamie's printer. I'm going to show you Ted's Printer now with a different browser window. Ted's Printer, Properties, I'm going to log in. It's all set up, it's working fine, but it doesn't have a lot of the settings that Jamie's printer does. So I'm going to move Ted's Printer over here for now, out of the way. I could make either one of the devices the leader of the file sharing group. There's no technical limitation on which is the leader. It's a matter of convenience. There's no special software you need or server software or anything else to make this run on your fleet. This is a built-in feature in AltaLinks. I'm going to choose Jamie's printer to be the leader because her printer has a number of things already set up. Once I make Jamie's printer the leader, most of the configuration of the tree of devices that will be working together, will be done from Jamie's printer. Down here on this page, I choose Configure File Sharing. Confirm some basic information. The first is that this will be the publisher. You can publish or you can subscribe. This is going to be a publisher, so we're going to choose Publish. Confirm the name of the device name, Jamie's printer. If you didn't have one typed in here, it would remind you to put something in here. And then it shows you how are all the other devices like Ted's printer going to talk back to Jamie's printer. They have to have Jamie's printer's address. You can use the FQDN or the IP address. Start sharing. While this is happening, I want to remind people to choose the IP address or FQDN carefully. If you use DHCP with reserved addresses, which we recommend, the FQDN or the IP address should work well. We'll go more into that in detail in later videos. Congratulations, we've created a trust community. Now, let's add another device. That's pretty easy. Click on Add Device, enter in the FQDN or IP address, put in the credentials, and click on Get Device Details. You can see some basic summary information about the printer. This is a device I wanted to add to the tree. I'm going to set it for daily, and I'm going to set it for 9 AM. I want it to get its files that it's going to share, the clone files, from the publishing device, Jamie's printer. This is the only one that's in this tree so far, so you don't really have a choice. It's going to get its files from Jamie's printer. This is changeable later, and I'll show you how to do that. We have a random delay that just smooths out the downloads so that the devices that are sharing files don't get all hit at once. We have some install policies, which we'll get into later. I'm going to click Add. The device will be added to the tree, and you can see it here. So we've successfully connected a publisher, Jamie's printer, with a subscriber, Ted's printer. This hasn't done a lot for us yet because we haven't set up any files to transfer yet. We do have the beginnings of the map of our devices, as you can see. Just 2 printers here right now. Begin to see that there will be more later. If you'd like to see the steps to add a file to share and some hints and tips on that, please open the next video in this series. Thank you for watching.